Well, good morning. It is 11 a.m. on the Pacific Coast. I think I read somewhere it's going to be daylight savings time soon. Getting ready for that. You know, it's funny with smart devices, you don't really have to do much. We're still probably going to reset our clocks on microwaves and the ones that run on batteries on the wall and things like that. And even I have those, although I was frustrated the other day because I was late for something because of a clock that wasn't electronic. So when the time changes, everything will just happen. I remember back in 2000 when we were all worried about that problem in the millennium and how that would affect computers and everything else, and nothing seemed to happen. But I will tell you, before we get started, I will tell you a quick story about what just happened in my life. And it's not a great story. It's frustrating as all could be. Tomorrow I will deal with it on the phone with Apple. My daughter logged into our turned on our Apple TV last night to watch a movie, and we had 79 movies available to us, I think it was. And she said, "Hey, there's a movie missing." I said, "There's not a movie missing. There's 350 movies. We have over 400 movies that we've purchased over the years. I did the math, it was like $7,000. And they're all gone. Now they're not gone. They're in my purchase history, and I'll get them all back with Apple. But yeah, that's the risk. Should I have downloaded each one of them? No, I don't want to do that. They're in the cloud for a reason. That's the value. So yeah, there are things about this that are possible negatives. And yes, the ATM machine has opened doors for, opportunity for thieves. And it's just, look, it happened to us. We tried to get out of Honduras. Angela and I were repping a coffee company. And we were leaving Honduras, and we needed $40 to pay the government to leave. That's their law. And I went to the ATM machine and it wouldn't work. And I tried another card and it wouldn't work. And then I got home later after we figured this out, how to get out of there. And they had taken all my money out of my accounts. And there's all kinds of crazy stuff. But at the same time, it's not going away. We're forced to use it. Most of the time, it's an enjoyable experience and we are protected. I, of course, got my $400 back from, it was the max they could take out of the ATM. And that's why they have those limits. I got that back rather quickly from my bank, and life continued. So we're going to talk about the positive side of these things, and we're going to talk about how they can be used to help you run your business and your life in a way that, well, we'll see if you believe that the future has in store for us something that's useful in terms of using automation through smart devices in the home and the office. So I am Eric Greenspan. If you don't know, I know most of you. We do a lot of this thing called hockey in our family, soccer. I coach that one. I can't coach hockey because I can't skate well. My kids make fun of me. I love marketing. I love building things. I love Lego. I love just making stuff happen and growing a business. And that's why I do what I do. And, we started schoolofbookkeeping.com, and then all of a sudden our consulting business grew, and it was mostly accounting professionals. And I'm just really excited to work with the people that we're working with because we're doing some really great stuff and I'm proud of it. And I got to tell you, we've got some news and I'm really excited about this. Introducing Micah Feldkamp. He is our science officer, a new partner at 74 Systems and School of Bookkeeping. This kid is smart and he's also here with us right now. Hello, Micah.
Hello there, Micah Feldkamp. Tell you a little bit about myself. I met Eric through software community Insightly, which is a CRM, customer relationship management software. I'm an expert in that and used to work with QuickBooks, so I fit right into the Ignite program, the 74 Systems of School of Bookkeeping, very similar community. Some of the things I love to do is playing guitar. I mean, that's one of my passions, playing guitar, learning languages, and building. That's what I love to do. I love to build, just like my father, my father's father. Same thing in all my family. We build businesses. So that's my passion. I love to challenge myself, and I think being in the Nike program, I'm going to get a lot more of that. So I'm excited to rock. Let's do this.
I guess that's kind of one of the benefits of working within this company is you also get to learn but we do for others, you know, because we're not shoemakers' children here. We have gorgeous loafers, meaning our systems are amazing. And that's very important to us. You know, the reason why we got into this and started using the Untitled product as a base is because one day, Angela and I, my fiance, who's also our partner in the company, we were inundated with so much stuff and we didn't know what to do. We had so many clients and so many projects. So we jumped in one night to find a solution, and I spent hours and hours and hours, and it wasn't until about 4 in the morning that I came up with a solution and got everything updated and inputted and going. And ever since then, we've just been running a tight ship, and it feels really good. Well, welcome, Micah. So I ask you, Micah, are you achieving all of your goals? And what I mean by that, you're not going to get to everything. You're not going to achieve everything. But if you set some goals, are you at least working towards achieving them? Go ahead and answer that for me, Micah, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. I have my roadmap. It's visual. And then I have my Untitled manages, you know, my tasks, and I have everything pieced out in stages. Did I gain 10 pounds of muscle last year? I did. That was exciting for me.
So your goal was to start working out, getting healthy, and growing your
that's right.
Your muscles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So, and it doesn't matter if it's your muscles or your business or whatever it is, you got to achieve, because it lifts you, right? When you look down at your arms and you said, wow, look what I did, it helps you get through the other obstacles of life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yep. That's the base, right?
All right. So this is a great question. Do you have enough good clients? And Mike and I both know, we talk about this quite a bit. It's very important for us to enjoy our work. You need to do the same. I see a couple of names that are here with us today that I know are frustrated with some of their clients, and they probably wish they didn't even accept them as clients, but they did a long time ago, and they probably aren't charging them enough. And you know what? Those kind of clients bring you down. So grow your business and be selective with the people you work with. If people are abusive or people don't pay, get rid of them and keep growing. Stay focused. And second to the most important, I should say, is making money. You cannot have any guilt here, folks. You've got to feel good about making money. I've got a thing on my desk right here. It says value priced, $475, but $425 for early enrollment. This is summer hockey school for my son. And then he and my daughter are going to a spring camp that's $300 and something. I mean, stuff is expensive and you got to pay for it. So it's not a bad thing to make money. It's important that you have what you need. Check out the Greenspan Manifesto at 74systems.com. And the most important is, are you having fun at least sometime during the day? And the clients that we work with, they're a riot. They really are. And as she would say if she were here, Carrie Kahn, one of our great clients, do you do what you love? That's very important. Okay, our first question for our polls is up. And it is, are you attending for CE credit? It should be CPE credit. My apologies. I need everybody to answer that. Perfect. Okay, real quick Q&A. It's down at the bottom of the bar. Use it if you have a question that requires a response. We won't get to it immediately in most cases, but go ahead and post it there. If you just want to openly chat, you can use the chat feature. But if you do, know that everybody can see it. You must vote in the polls if you're here for CPE. We ask that everybody votes anyhow. We don't know who you are or what you're answering. We just want to see the results. It helps us throughout the presentation. And if you're here for CPE, you'll get it automatically. All right, so a primer on the smart home or office or home office, whatever it might be. I'm not going to kid you right now. One of my echoes just responded back. She somehow thought I said her name. We have about 8 of them, and they're a little sensitive at times. I just heard her in a different room. I'm going to start by asking this question and then explaining it, of course. What is a bot? And I don't think I would have asked this question if it weren't for Micah joining forces with us, because you know he's a millennial and he's into artificial intelligence, and he uses Amy what is it, AI or whatever, X.AI, and Amy and Andrew They do automated scheduling through this cool system, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like Acuity, but whatever. It's really neat to see it happen. And so let me ask you a question. You can raise your electronic hands down below in the bar. I'm going to ask you to raise your electronic hand if you've ever called anything on the phone, any company, and you had an automated attendant. Raise your hand if that's ever happened to you. Should see all your hands. So have you ever had this experience? Welcome to Delta Airlines. Is this a new reservation or are you changing a reservation? It's new. I'm sorry, we didn't understand you. It's new. I'm sorry, we didn't agent. I'm sorry, agent. I'm sorry, agent. I'm sorry, we can't understand you. Click and they hang up. You know what I'm talking about, right? This stuff is crazy. But that was years ago. If you do it today, you will actually find that's not the case. Where do you raise your hand? It's at the bottom of the bar. One of the things I should add to the primer, and Micah, if you wouldn't mind, make a note for me. I want to add to the primer that we want to explain to you how to use the tools. One of them is the bottom of your Zoom window. There's a little toolbar and it should say mute and a variety of things. There should be a raise hand there. The other thing is you probably want to maximize the Zoom window. Maximize the Zoom window so that you can see, well, if it's not there, then you're logged in the wrong capacity, or you have to hit the more button or something. You got to look around for it. Top left for you. Okay, perfect. Let's start a chat over here. Let's jump into chat rather than use Q&A, and let's see if we can help each other find it. Top left, you said, Micah, you're a panelist. Where is it for you?
It's down at the bottom on my Chromebook, so it's going to be most likely device specific.
Well, they're going to be probably Windows machines. And I'm guessing, any luck? Top left, Windows. Thank you, Tom. By the way, Micah, you can mention names if it's in chat because everybody can see the names.
Oh, I see.
Oh, no, they can't because they sent it to us. Sorry, Tom. Now we're going to have to send Tom's wife flowers. Okay, so anyhow, keep looking for it. In any event, I'm going to lower all hands. So bots are those things like that. In fact, there's another bot that you probably know pretty well. Alexa, what's your name?
My name is Alexa.
Now, here's a fascinating thing. I'm about to ask her a question, and she's going to get it wrong, and I'm just going to laugh. Ready? Alexa? What's a bot?
The Doug Mosaic 20 Havoc is a United States attack.
Alexa, stop.
Bomber.
That's a different wrong answer that she gave us last time. Alexa, what's a bot?
The term bot has several distinct uses.
Alexa, stop. Did you hear that one? What she misunderstood? Alexa, what's a bot?
Foxes are small to medium
Alexa,
size.
stop. She's having trouble right now because that's weird. But anyhow, what she was answering with a robot, and it's not a robot completely. I mean, it is ultimately, but bots are more of they're not necessarily in a metal cage and walking around on two legs. They can be her, she. So her answer should be, when I ask that question, me. But she doesn't answer that. And I don't know if she was programmed not to on purpose, or if they just haven't figured that out, or if they don't think of her as a bot, but she is. That guy on the Apple call, if you ever call Apple, it's the most irritating voice. And I know they tried to pick something good, but it doesn't work. Siri used to be this woman who recorded all of those things, and now it's actually artificial intelligence. They've replaced it. All kinds of things are bots. When you open up Facebook and it says, hey, you should promote this page because other people promoted it and got good results. Those are bots telling you how to spend money in your Facebook account, advertising account. So bots can be very useful in a lot of different ways, but we're going to move on from that. I just want to give you a quick understanding of what it means. And we're going to talk about smart devices. And usually there's a bot somewhere inside of it, particularly if it is like this one over here. Let's try one more time. Alexa, what's a bot? Alexa? What's a bot?
A robot is a mechanical or virtual artificial agent, usually an electromechanical machine that is guided by a computer program or electronic circuitry.
That's pretty good. She's showing a picture. I have a video version of it. It's called a show, and she's showing a version, an actual picture of a physical robot. So that's why it's a little off. Okay, so smart devices are things that can control other things through automation, through voice control like that. She is a smart device, and there's lots of different ones. You know, there's her, the Amazon Echo, in this case, a show, Philips Hue lighting, the Nest array of devices, locks, all kinds of stuff, your phone. They're everything that does something intelligent and can control things externally through Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, whatever it might be, is a smart device. And there's a lot of different things that these devices can do, like you saw with the voice control. Now, my kids use her, I can't say her name, all the time to ask questions. And it can be anything from, you know, the time, or, you know, when is the next Olympic event on, or show me on the video versions of it, show me the trailer for the new Star Wars movie, or what is 2 + 5, whatever it might be. My kids have found ways to use this device, and if they were allowed to, they probably would do everything through it, which makes me think I probably should let them. They have one in their rooms, and they do use it. They use it a lot. You hear them for random stuff, and sometimes they're just messing around. I, on the other hand, use it for everything. Now, I'm not going to talk about me because I'm not typical. I'm going to talk about Angela for a second. Angela, when we first got all these smart devices, she wasn't exactly happy about it. I mean, she's awesome all the time, but she gave me a hard time about it because, you know, you saw it, they don't all, or you heard, they don't always work. But they get better and they get better and they do so much well, and we have to train ourselves how to use them a little bit better also. So anyhow, at the end of the day, there's a device, we have one of these shows in the kitchen, and not too long ago, I took it out and put it by my desk and put the non-video version of the Amazon Echo into the kitchen, and I heard this. Wait, what happened to my, did you switch it? And I said, what's the problem? And Angela was frustrated. She doesn't like change, for one, but truth be told, she's frustrated because she likes that thing because she can bring up a recipe and she can do all kinds of cool stuff. She uses it all the time in the kitchen for timers. And I didn't even realize it, but the timers actually show up on the screen. So you can visualize them as well as know that they're going to make sure you pick up your kid at school, or you take the artichoke off of the stove before the water scalds it, or whatever it might be. And that is how she uses it. Religiously, we both use it also as a list maker. And what I mean by that is we have an awesome tool called AnyList, which is, it's not available for everybody. It's just a Mac app right now, but it is the most amazing thing. And you can use other tools that do the same thing. Wunderlist will do it, whatever. And we build our grocery list. So if you open up the fridge and you want to add something to the list, and I'll do it right now. Alexa, add SpaghettiOs to the grocery list.
SpaghettiOs added to grocery.
Now that really just happened. And they're really going to be on the list. And if Angela was at the grocery store right now, it would pop up on her phone and she'd be checking out, and she'd, you know, growl at me because she'd either say too late, or she'd have to walk back or send Audrey to go to the SpaghettiOs aisle. And nobody can ever find the SpaghettiOs because they're hardly sold anymore. And there's one little tiny spot at the very bottom. You shouldn't eat them, but they did take a lot of the garbage out of them, just for the record. So voice control is very powerful, but we also use it for a lot of other things, like controlling lights or turning on the television. You know, every single night at 1 a.m., our entire house shuts down and a blue light goes on in the den in case the kids have to walk through to get to our room. And all the doors automatically lock if they're not locked already. But if I don't want to wait until 1 a.m., all I have to do is issue a command and that will happen. And that's pretty cool. Or if I want to turn on the fan over my head, we call it the wind. or the sun, which is the light on the fan. All I have to do is tell her, turn on the fan, turn on the wind, turn on the sun, and it works beautifully. Voice control. And then there's, of course, automation. And automation, let me give you an example of one that we use. I can speak using voice control to Amazon Echo, and I can literally tell her to add a task to my to-do list, and then a zap will fire, which is a automated technique. We've done a lot of stuff on Zapier. Zaps are kind of an if this, then that kind of thing. So if one application like Amazon Echo gets something on its list, and as soon as that shows up, then I want you to put it into Insightly, and I want you to link it to Eric Greenspan internal to-dos. And that's exactly what happens. So if I'm in the shower and I've got something on my mind, I can just ask her to put it onto my to-do list. I could have done that earlier when I instead asked Micah to do it. So the automation bit is great. Another one is we've got a set of lights that are outside on this funky switch that's not connected to our Hue network. It's iDevices and Hue. One's a switch and one are lights. And because of the HomeKit application, and I'm going to show you guys this stuff in a moment, the HomeKit application from Apple will let you combine those. And you can create an automation that says, every time I turn off the porch light, turn off the other lights also. Or if I turn off the fan, turn off the light. Or, and so on. All these different things that happen. Or if I turn off the porch light, lock the front door, right? I mean, it makes sense. So, or unlock it, when you get home. Lots of cool things like that are happening in our house all the time. But now if we take this a little more towards what you do for a living, data entry. Imagine if you could sit back with your feet up on your desk, and no, you're not going to do this today, although somebody is. And I do commonly, when I do Radio Ignite, I use an app on my iPhone called Just Press Record. And what I love about this app is whatever I say is recorded in beautiful quality. I have a great microphone that I plug into it. And I can do it from anywhere. But the coolest part is it then will take and it will transcribe all of what I've said into text. Now, I didn't use periods and things like that when I was dictating, because I wasn't dictating. I was recording a podcast. So it will mess up. It doesn't know how to punctuate, because when you're dictating, you say, I took the dog for a walk, period, new paragraph, that kind of stuff. You use that language. But when you're just podcasting and you're telling a story with audio, it's still nice to know that you can capture that text, import that into something, and then quickly edit it and use it again, repurpose it. It takes a lot of the work out. Well, that tells me that it's not that far away from us being able to say, QuickBooks, add an invoice. What is the client's name? QuickBooks responds. Tom Jones. And how much would you like to charge him? And I'd say, check his bank accounts. How much does he have? And she'd say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Tom's laughing right now. So there's lots of ways that we can do this. And I'm glad I slipped and mentioned Tom, which of course he doesn't mind that I do. Tom was one of our clients early on. We're building an awesome system for him. And he's really excited about this technology stuff. And it's really cool to see. He brought to me the data entry idea, and I poo-pooed it. I was like, no way, man, this ain't gonna happen. And now with Micah on board and Tom still interested, and lots of change, and the Amazon Echo, and now the HomePod, and everybody's starting to get into this soup here, it's starting to look like there won't be too long of a gap before you're gonna be talking to QuickBooks. And I wonder if they're not already. Does anybody know if Intuit is already building their own bot? Do they have their own QB bot? I don't know what it would be called, but I'm sure they're coming up with their own Siri, or I can't say her name, but you know what I mean. And then, I'm talking with a number of our tax clients, and a lot of them spend a lot of time reviewing things. And wouldn't it be great for things that are repetitive to be able to send something through a scanner or input it into a system and have that system automatically review it for validity. That would be pretty darn cool, I think, in a lot of cases. I'm just curious, can you guys see the poll thing in front of my screen? Micah, can you see it? No? Okay. It floats around and you can't see it. It's interesting. All right. So being able to review stuff or check your work, you know, like grammar checkers do and spelling checkers do, you know, just being able to say, hey, bot, can you look over this document and make sure everything looks right? And it comes back and it says, oh, you forgot this clause, or this is, you know, passive voice, or not necessarily grammar related. It could really get into the nitty gritty of what you do for a living. And it could tell you, you know what, this person has X, you know, amount of deductions, and therefore this box should be checked. That kind of stuff absolutely can happen, and it will. I hope, though, by new companies, because I think the companies that are building tax software today, they need reboots. All right, I'm going to ask you another poll question. And this time, the question is, and you can check as many of these as you want, which of these devices do you actually use? Or own, I should say. I'm not shocked to see the Echo is popular. If you guys want to start a chat about any of this stuff and ask questions in the chat there openly or in Q&A, feel free to. I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions specifically, but we are going to go through these devices now. Okay, so while that's happening, let's start with switches. Now, switches are things that typically turn a light on or off on the wall, but also can be a device that you would plug into an outlet and convert that into a smart outlet. Now, I'm going to make this is hard stuff to get when you're first looking at it. So I'm going to try to make this as easy as possible, but let's start with the different devices from iDevices, because they've got a nice different selection. And I'm going to go through a couple of them and explain how they work. So first of all, this dimmer switch, first of all, let me say this. This is the one of the companies that doesn't require a hub. It just uses your Wi-Fi. I don't believe they have any devices that use Bluetooth, but they might. Their new instant switch might, but I don't know. But I can tell you this, Wi-Fi, does it say Bluetooth? I think it's Wi-Fi only. But the point is there's no hub. When you buy Philips Hue lights, you need a hub that is at the center of all of that controls it and connects it to the network. Not with these devices. They're all on their own. They all have their own connection to the Wi-Fi directly and can be controlled directly. And that's why they're a little more expensive. But the dimmer switch, what it will do is it'll just replace a regular switch and allow you to walk up to the wall and toggle it up and down to dim your lights. The fan switch is coming. It's not available yet. Three-way fan switches in this environment have been difficult for these companies to deliver, but they just announced that theirs is around the corner. Let's see if they mention it anywhere here. No. But it is coming. I want one. I currently have one that I don't love. It uses a different technology, not Wi-Fi, and it's frustrating. I have to have a special hub to make it work. But staying with this, all in one, you replace your existing wall switch. It goes right where the wires were before, and you can use it like a regular switch. Okay, beyond that, it can be controlled by an app on your phone or your iPad or whatever else. Typically not your computer. Most HomeKit is not supported by Macs or PCs. You have to use a smart device like a phone or a tablet to control them, and that's something to do with the security. I'm hoping one day they'll come out with HomeKit for my Mac so that I can actually turn my lights on and off from a device on the Mac rather than having to grab my iPhone. And I'm gonna actually share my iPhone in a moment and show you all that stuff too, so that's cool. So it's a regular switch and it's a Wi-Fi switch that I can control from an app, so I can dim it up and down without getting up out of my chair as well. That's what that one does. All the lights that are connected to it are just standard light bulbs, okay? And when we talk about lighting in Philips Hue, you're going to see that that's a little bit different. Now, these little devices, which I don't use, basically take a regular light bulb and make them a Wi-Fi light bulb. And the wall switch is similar to the dimmer switch. It just doesn't do that. The wall outlet, same thing. It replaces a standard outlet and it hardwires in, and you just plug your vacuum cleaner and your lights in, like you would normally. But it's also Wi-Fi connected, so you can control, if you've got a light on plugged in there, that's a standard lamp with a light bulb, you can turn that lamp on and off with your phone. And a lot of this, what's great about it is that you can set up automation sequences, which I'll show you in a moment. I love this outdoor switch. This controls our bistro lights over our back patio. And I have a bunch of these switches, which are the outlet smart switches. Not like this, where you have to wire it into your wall. This little guy, you literally just plug into an existing outlet, connect it to Wi-Fi, add it to the app, and off you go. And you can control. So I use these for air cleaners, for fans in the kids' rooms. They don't work well with Dyson fans because Dyson fans don't stay on. They don't have a physical on switch. So you have, all my Dyson fans, which I love, are not Wi-Fi capable. The new ones are. So it's frustrating. I have to use their remote. And it's not that I'm lazy. It's just that I'm here in a webinar right now, and I'm literally just turned up my Dyson because I have a remote to give me a little bit more airflow, which is important. You know, you need to be able to control things like that, not necessarily get up, right? Okay, so that's switches. Now let's go back to the next one, and let's talk about the voice control bots. And this again is, we'll focus on the Amazon Echo devices, and I want you to understand the difference. This is the one I have on my desk, and this is the one I have by my chair. These are both video. And what are great about these is if somebody comes to the door, or if I want to look at the cameras that are in the backyard, I can tell her to add them here with my voice, and all of a sudden it'll appear. I can also start a video call with anybody that's connected to one of these in the house or to anybody else in the world. And all of these devices can act like a speakerphone by literally saying, call mom, and it will call mom if mom is in your contacts. And then these are just the audio versions. The newer one here is a better sounding version. The Echo Plus has a hub inside of it that will take place of what the Philips Hue hub does, or the Wink hub, or the Samsung SmartThings hub, but it doesn't do a great job. Not a lot of people are happy with it. I would stay away from this. If you're going to buy one of these devices, if you already have your own speakers and you just want to be able to control it, the Dot is a great option. Wait for it to go on sale. They'll go down to like 39 or 29, or you can get 2 for, you know, whatever. And you can plug a set of speakers into the back of that and then control whatever you want from it. But if it's for music, I'm going to show you something better. Sonos is a much better option. So I would use that for that. Also, if you want to have some fun, you can take this little Echo Dot and you can put it in your car because it's powered by the USB cable that would be plugged into you know, a USB outlet, and that can be powered off of your car and at the same time have the connection, and you can use your phone as the hotspot so that you can actually drive around and say, hey, what's your face? Can you play this song? My kids love this. They like to do the, you know, Jeopardy or Q&A games in the car. So I love this device because it shows me a clock when it's not being used. It can show me video. I can make video calls on it. I'm waiting for a Zoom client so that Mike and I can use these. Tom and I talked about that as well. And then this one is just a bigger version of this. They're just different sizes. But the nice thing about this one, it really does more than this one does. They default a lot more content. Like our calendar is always flowing on this screen right here. These are great devices. Now, I'm not going to tell you that the other device, hello, Google. Hey, Google, how are you feeling today?
Please log in through the Google Home app.
I changed my password yesterday. That's good. So see, she recognizes security. I will tell you right now, that device controls things better. That device is a better device. The Google device is a better device in a lot of ways. It listens better. It responds better. It's quicker. So either one works great. They don't have a video version yet, but I'm sure they're going to come out with one. And then the HomePod with Siri, I still haven't gotten one yet because I just can't justify replacing my Sonos at this stage. And that's really more what that thing is for. All right, sensors and thermostats. And I'm just going to briefly touch on sensors, but I'm going to mostly focus on thermostats. And the thermostat is probably the most popular of all of the smart devices. I don't use Nest. I actually use the Ecobee, and I don't love it. I actually like the Nest better. It didn't play well in the HomeKit world back in the day, and I'm an Apple guy. But it's a great device. It's super easy. You just twist it to set the settings. The Ecobee, you got to slide your finger, and it's kind of weird. I don't love my Ecobee. It works, though. And you'll get money back from the electric company when you install it. And I think the gas company maybe too. So they almost pay for themselves in that regard. And you know, it's nothing better than, with all the evacuations we had, being able to control all of our lights from a distance and our temperatures and what have you. Turning off the heat while you're gone when you don't expect to be gone for 12 days, you know, that's pretty darn handy. So this is a great device. Now, as far as other sensors, I'm going to talk about the one that I truly do love, and that is the Nest Protects. I love these devices. They're very sensitive, you know, but they do both carbon monoxide and smoke, and usually kind of steam. If it's really, really hot, you know, it'll sense it. So this is a great device because it will start talking to you and telling you something's happening, and your phone will start beeping, and you could be somewhere else and, oh my God, my house is on fire. You can run home or call 911. They're really, really, really spectacular devices. I love them. They're easy to install and set up, and they just work. I also have found that some of the other smoke detectors out there, you can't buy a lot of them on Amazon. They won't ship them because of the batteries, and they're really expensive, and they claim to last a long time, or you have to wire them in. You know what? I just get the battery operated Nest. If the battery is getting low, it warns me on my phone or starts beeping. It never has, so I don't even know what that means. And I'm just really pleased with this thing. I love it. If you buy anything, that's the one thing that you should get. It could save lives. Okay, lighting. This is a big one. And the reason why it's a big one is because, come on, I need to get to, I have to go back. Oh, goodness. Sorry, guys, I have to do this for a sec. My keyboard go dead? Okay, well, we'll do it the hard way. All right, so there it is. All right, so the next bit in lighting, we're going to talk about Philips Hue. And Philips Hue is just one of the many, but it is absolutely the leader. And you have to be very careful. There's a couple of things you have to be aware of. If you're buying these things in a Best Buy or a Home Depot, I guarantee you they have old stock. They tend to do this. If you're buying them on Amazon, beware. Look for the thing that says there's a newer version. Make sure you get the latest generation. I think we're on generation 3 now. Lots more light, lots more color. They work better on the Wi-Fi. It's just really improved. So what's nice about these is they work with everything. They're compatible everywhere. You get one little hub. They have switches and lighting. You can get the bulbs. You can buy lamps, which I think is ridiculous because if you're going to buy a lamp, if it's just putting one of their bulbs inside of a lamp, it seems silly. You might as well buy the lamp you like. And then they also have these cool switches, and I've got these on either side of my chair downstairs. On one side, I can control the fan, and when my daughter comes home at 3 o'clock and doesn't want to type in her code, I can push a button and the door unlocks. It's pretty neat how the switches work, but let's talk about the bulbs for just a moment. And actually, it's probably the best way to go to them. Let's go to here. So they have different types of bulbs, and I'll explain them for you so you understand. These are the new sizes. Okay, the E12 bulb is for the chandeliers. They didn't have those back in the day. These are the GU10s, which I actually had to use when we moved. These are just a different connection. They replace halogens usually. These are standard bulbs, and they're just white. But let me show you the big thing to look at, okay? Regardless of what size or style it is, they have 3 levels of color. And let me explain that to you, okay? We've got white, we've got white ambiance, and we've got white in color ambiance. This is full color, this is everything. This is only white. You can dim it, but just within its same color. This allows you to do shades. So if you're not gonna buy, if you just want standard on and off, then get these. I would recommend, however, the white ambiance is as a baseline, but I only buy white in color. Because if you think you're not gonna use color, wait till a holiday comes and all of a sudden your house is orange or green or red. It's really fun, it's really cool. And they give you a lot, colors also mean that you get a lot of other things as well. Okay. So now we're back to a presentation that's acting up. So now we're going to talk about security. And security is a big one because what is causing my thing not to work? Weird. I want to fix it right now, but I can't. Okay. Well, we're going to have to do it the hard way. Sorry. All right, so security, we're going to talk about locks, and then we can talk a little bit about cameras as well. And the thing about security is you can automate locking of doors, and that to me is pretty spectacular. The ability to view somebody as they come up to your door is phenomenal. And the doorbell camera that connects to the smart locks, which connects to the keypad from August, this system is really slick. It's not bulletproof. There's some issues every once in a while, but I really, really like it. And let me show you, let me see where the products. Let's look at the locks first. So I have the Pro. This is a hub. So the Connect is their hub. If you buy the doorbell camera, you don't need this hub. So what I have is this and the doorbell camera, which they push the button to ring the doorbell, and then you get a notification on your phone and you can talk to people over video. Very slick. And it records them. And you can save the recordings for, depending upon the plan you buy. They now have free recording for 24 hours. So that's really slick. I like that feature a lot. The other piece that we use also is, let's see, where is it? Is this little keypad. And we have these in case the kids want to get in. Now, there's another lock on the back of the house on a couple of doors that we use that's different because it replaced a lock that was there. And it's a standard, just push in your code type thing. Either way, the thing that's nice about all of these is depending upon the codes that are used or the method that they use, you always know who and when people come and go. And if there's video, it's even better. So that's great for security, no doubt about it. Now, while I'm in security, I'm going to also show you the Nest cameras, which I love. And what's very important that you understand is there's 2 different types. There's this smart one and there's the not so smart ones. And so what they call IQ have the ability to identify a face. So not only does it say there's a person, but it'll tell you which person. I'm fine with these. It's nice for it to say, they also can tell you there's a person, but they don't necessarily tell you which person. So I guess it would be cool to say Jackson standing in the front door, but it's not that critical. I've got the outdoor ones in 3 locations, and I've got the indoor ones in every room except the bedrooms. And they're just running throughout the day so that, in case something were to happen or, we can keep track of what goes on in the house. Somebody breaks in, whatever it might be. It's great security, particularly when you're traveling. Okay. And now we're back to entertainment, and we will talk about Sonos. So Sonos is a weird one. And the reason why is because Sonos is now, and a lot of companies are doing this, integrating with the Amazon Echo technology so that you can actually talk to her inside the box and control your music. It's a little tough to do. I'm going to tell you straight up. It's a little tough to do, but it's getting better. regardless of the voice control, there's really not much better than Sonos. And this does have an app that I can run here, and I will show it to you. And the value of Sonos, you can see I have an update, is I can choose a variety of different sources. In this case, I've got my library, which has 7,000 songs, a radio, tune-in radio, so it's all the radio stations across the country. Amazon has their own music channel. Pandora, you know what that is. SoundCloud, where my son posts his artistry, and I'm sure Micah does too. And Spotify, which is my favorite for finding music and sharing music and making lists and so on and so forth. And I can play any song from any one of these in combination with one or the other to any one of these zones, or I can group them or play them all. I can play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have, is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 zones live right now. I could play 7 songs. I could play 7 songs all at different volumes. I could play 1 song to all of them. I could play 1 song on 3 and a different song on 4, whatever I wish to do. And it's nothing more than just grabbing a song. So if I were to go to my music library, go to artists, let's get something good. Yeah, let's get 50 Cent. And we'll just go to all. And some of these songs are probably a little bit inappropriate, but let's say we brought in the club and we put it in the office zone. That song, check Sonos. It's going to tell me my music library is not working. Yeah, my music library needs to be synced. So let's grab it from somewhere else. Let's grab something from my Spotify playlists.
But could we wake up to music?
Absolutely. My son wakes up every morning to music.
Yeah.
Cool.
That'd be very useful.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if this one will work. Why? Because I have to run the update. What a bummer. Well, anyhow, after I run the update, I drag it over here and I hit play and it goes. I love that song. Let's see if I can play it in the kitchen. Yep, that one works. So we can turn it up really loud in the kitchen. And you can hear it in the background.
Yeah, we got something.
Yep. So my office one needs an update, but regardless, that's all you got to do to play music with Sonos, and you can control it with your app. All right, so what we're going to do next as we wrap up here is I'm going to give you a quick demo on my iPhone. But before we do that, we've got one more poll question for you. Actually, I think we have 2. And this one is similar, but if you don't have any or you're thinking of buying, what devices would you buy first, learning what you just learned? Security, lighting, thermostats? Yeah. Interesting. Wow, it's all over the place. Interesting. Okay, lighting 1, but it's all over the place. All right, so let's do a demo on the iPhone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my iPhone screen.
Looks good.
Is it working?
Yep.
Perfect.
Looking good.
Okay, and I'm going to show you a couple of cool things. So earlier I showed you Hue, and Hue is this is their app interface, and you can see my house is all set up here. And it's interesting to see things like closets and halls. And the reason why you can see closets and halls is because we don't want our closets and hall lights to stay on, right? That costs money. So when you walk into one of our closets, we have a little Hue sensor that triggers the light, and then it turns off after motion stops. And the light switches are gone so that the kids can't turn them on or off or what have you. And that's a great way to save on electricity. So let me show you, I don't actually use this app very often because Apple, with the HomeKit, has replaced it so that you can actually control lights and everything else from a screen like this. And this is called the Home app, which is what HomeKit devices use. And the scenes at the top are what I was talking about earlier. I can actually turn on and off pretty much anything. So if we go out at night, I can hit this, and here's what will happen. I'll go into it so you can see the programming. So the chair next to my chair will turn to 60% at that color. And the lamp we call Dean, we have Frank, Dean, Sammy, all the Rat Pack, will go to 60%. The down lights up above, the fireplace light and the fan will turn off, and the heater will turn down to 65 degrees. In the dining room and so on, the air purifier comes on, one of the master bedroom lights goes on. It's kind of a light that goes underneath things. The desk lamp turns on. And then of course the yard lights will turn on, the air cleaner upstairs, which we don't want on when we're home. And all the other things will turn off, like garage lights and porch lights and everything else. So when we go out at night, that happens. But what's even cooler is the animation. This is what happens every single day in our house automatically. You can see 6 a.m., 38 devices trigger. Heat goes up to 67. All the lights get turned off, doors get locked. And this is basically getting our morning started. Now, after that, at 9 a.m., the kids have gone to school, we turn off their lights. You can see how those are off. So if they left their lights on or their fans on in their room, they get turned off every day at 10 a.m. Well, or 9 a.m. Well, at 10 a.m., we do it again. And this time, we turn the heater down a little bit. And then at 11:11, we do it one more time, just in case we have kids that didn't go to school on time or somebody else walked into the room. I could do it every hour. You can set devices to automatically turn off at a given time as well. So that's a really handy thing. Now, door locks are awesome, right? Because I can unlock and lock a door from anywhere. When we were evacuated, there was a very expensive item outside our home, and we needed it to be picked up. Instead of having the person who came by my house to pick it up, take it with them, I asked them to just put it under the bed, and they did. So when they got there, they texted me that they were at the house. I opened this up, touched the button. I can hear it downstairs going ding, ding. And literally the door was unlocked and they left. And then as soon as they left, I relocked it. So that's the Home app. Now, there's lots of different apps that you're going to use, but one of my favorites beyond that, other than Sonos, let's see if this device will power the Sonos in here. You can see there's an update here too. Yeah. But let's go. Let's see if we can do Office. It doesn't like the Office right now. It needs to be reset or something. Okay. So the one I love is the Nest app. And this one allows us to view all of our different, there's our housekeeper right there. Let's see what she's up to. Lean in the, okay, now that's why my devices don't work. That's why my TV doesn't turn on, because what she's doing right now, what she's doing, oh, she's literally, oh, she's moving every, oh gosh, it drives me crazy. So that's fun. And then remember I told you earlier, I asked what's her name to put this onto the grocery list, and you'll see right here at the bottom, and I promise you that's new. In fact, I'll prove it to you. Alexa, add cream cheese to the grocery list.
I've put cream cheese on grocery.
Pretty neat, huh?
Yeah, I like it.
Yep, that's one of my favorites. And then of course the August lock we can control. We can check and see who's at the front door. We can watch it live, and that connects. Now you notice how they make the camera fit the size of the door so that It can see the entire vertical aspect of it. That's different from a typical camera. And I can talk to people here. I can unlock the door here. I can do whatever I want to do. Lots of fun stuff. In this home piece, I have every single app that controls them all, but the goal is at the end of the day to get to using just one. And on the Google side of things, it's, they also have the Google Home app. And I actually have it here and I can use it for a variety of different things, but I don't use it as often. And it's gonna tell me I have to log in because I changed my password or I added two-factor authentication. So that is how you control stuff. So let me go back to this real quick and we'll get wrapped up. All right.
Looking good.
So real quick, we're just going to show you, we've got something new. We've got a brand new package. It's called the Accounting Workflow System. Our Ignite members are using it. It is working great. Thanks to Micah for helping us get to the next stage. We can do just about anything for tax pros and for bookkeeping professionals with this system to manage everything soup to nuts. We also just launched our content marketing program. Similar to the other marketing that we do, but this is all about events and email and social and getting everything out there, creating content, sharing that content, repurposing content. We use a special calendaring application to manage all of our clients, and we repurpose content regularly. You do not remember what you read yesterday, let alone last month. So if you wrote a good blog post or did a video or a podcast, you can use it over again. It cuts the workload to a fraction. And you just keep going and going and going. Repurposing is very, very useful. So I ask you, in our last and final poll question, do you repurpose your content now? Good, perfect. One person already said I will now, and that's good enough for me. All right, up next, we've got percentage pricing, and we've also got create, edit, and produce video. These have been pushed off because of the fires and the mudslides, and then we had a day where they decided to cut the power on a Friday, and then last week we got evacuated yet again, but it was only for one day, and we're back. The grass is growing on the hills. Montecito's gonna survive this, and I think we are gonna stabilize finally. That was a primer on the smart home or office or home office, whatever you want to call it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you again on schoolofbookkeeping.com WOWbinar.